All right.
Y'all want the intro or like?
I guess we should do some kind of. We should probably figure out like an actual intro we're gonna do in the future.
Well, yeah.
Or just wing it.
But this is exciting, so yeah, I'm gonna throw my hands up in the air as you start talking.
Yeah. All right. Wait, where am I? This one.
Who knows?
Whatever.
A thumbnail?
We can get a thumbnail later. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Music Maniacs with Side After Dark. We're Side After Dark. I'm Dan Berg.
I'm C for Graffiti.
And we're joined by not one, but two very special guests. This is the first time we've had two guests on the pod, so I feel like we're already partying up here, honestly. And I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves. But first, before I even say it, I want to say that the special occasion is that we're all going to be playing a show together, April 11th at the Brooklyn Music Kitchen. Shout out to Inspire Word NYC. Shout out to them for putting it all together. And without any further ado, why don't you tell the people who you are?
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? It's me, CBP. C.E.L.L.Beatz, back in the place to be.
Well done. I got to follow that. Thanks for having me on, guys. I go by the name of Boy Pierce. I'm a rapper and producer from Wilmington, Delaware.
Just like that. Hell yeah. I'm so excited. So I feel like this has been like years in the making for like us because we all met each other doing open mics with Inspire Word NYC way back in the day, like before COVID, before, in the before times.
When life was normal.
Right.
In a sense.
Was life ever really normal though?
Not really, but it was really normal. It was really normal.
More normal than
before
now.
2020, it was kind of normal.
Normal is a relative term, but I see where you're going.
But I mean, yeah, relatively speaking.
Anyway, we went from all meeting each other at the open mics to now all featuring with each other on the same stage on the same night.
It's big time.
And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like I don't know. But when we all met that many years ago, you really think this was going to be happening?
Nah, absolutely not.
No.
But with Mike, you never know. The promoter of this show.
Shout out to Mike Geffner.
Good connector of artists, good connector of people. So I can't say I'm shocked. We've been on this path together, starting at these open mics at Parkside Lounge. And at least for me, 2019. And man, 5 years later, we're finally all on a show together.
Just fly by, man. Because 5 years ago, I remember. I usually can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but 5 years ago, before COVID, I call it BC, before COVID.
Yeah.
Life was all like, that was my first year like performing open mics. Like I've been doing music since like what? I've been rapping since let's say 2014. I used to write when I was like, a kid, but didn't take it seriously till like 2016, 2017. But I never started performing until 2019, the year before. Right. And then like the year I did, that's the year I did 100 performances after doing 0 before that.
Wow.
So it's kind of like I was on a roll, and then when COVID came, everything came to a halt. So
and then 0 in 2020.
It's 0 in 2020. That damn 0.
0 to 100 back to 0 real quick.
I dropped the egg. I dropped the egg at 0. My stats were low.
Forced egg.
Right, exactly. A forced egg. Not a sunny side either.
No.
But it's a blessing though, because when we all met, like Pierce, when you rhyming, you say a word. The first time I saw you said say a word, and I bet you I rhyme it. I'm like, get out of here. You ain't going. You can say a word. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Go ahead. And then you could do something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting you on the spot right now. I'm just saying.
I was ready though. I was ready. I saw
my mind was moving. I was like, all right, he's gonna.
I saw the eyes.
In my head, I planned. I said, when this podcast come, I'm gonna challenge him to be a piece. I'm gonna say a word. Get him on the spot. Nah, let me stop. But no, and then when I see y'all play, Dan Seafield with the electric guitar, with the soul, with the rock, with the funk, with everything mixed in together, blended, and it's just different. I love different kind of music. I love different talent. I like when people. I like to learn from people. I like to learn from musicians as well. What they do great, what I'm lacking at, what y'all do great, I can't do. You know what I'm saying? I can't say a word on the spot and rhyme for like 1,000 bars at a time. I can't get on the stage and just ring it out, and then Dan was like, you like the music? Come on. Yeah, come on. I can't do that and go right back into the key and then get it right and stuff like that. I can't get into the range of Sifa going different times, Like I wait for that when you say that. I'm sampling your voice, Sifa. Okay. But I just have to say, like, it's a very good blessing that 5 years later we are tapped in and we're doing this feature together on the bill. I couldn't be more happy and proud to do it. People I really vibe with, the people I respect. You know what I'm saying? So that's my partake in this whole thing.
Yeah. It's crazy when you say it like that too, because that was your first year like really doing it. Was that more? You said that was like the year you started really hitting the open mics here.
That was when I started hitting the open mics hard in New York.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're all in a class together.
Yeah.
I think because for Noha,
that was the year that we met.
That's the year that we met. And then Noha, when we interviewed Noha, he was like, that was the year that he just stopped doing film and got into music.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like that's why we're all like together because we did the same thing in the same year.
And that's
2019.
That's the thing that's cool about the podcast, though, because in the podcast you find out things about people that you've been hanging out with for 5 years.
I was at
never
home
just sit down and
I
talk
was like,
about.
what are Boy Pierce's and C.E.L.L.Beatz' real names? I was like, do I know? And I was like, wait, I do know them. I do know them. Damien and Matthew. I do know them. I was just like, wait.
Yo, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But I'm
bleep it out. Bleep it out.
I did not know his real name.
I did not know Matthew's real name either.
Oh, look at that. Friends.
Best
Nice to meet you,
friends.
Yeah, it's Damien. Pleasure.
Nice to meet you, man. You know?
Oh, that's so funny. Also, I was gonna say, I was curious. I was like, what C.E.L.Beatz merch are you gonna be wearing? Because I have never once, and all the times we've hung out in 5 years, I've never once seen you not rep the brand, and I respect that so much.
I appreciate it.
And I love it because I've heard people say, and I don't know if you've heard people say this, but I definitely heard people say like, oh, I can't believe blah 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 would like wear their own blah 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 or something like that. And I always thought like that's such a weird thing. Like to me, I don't know. Wait, what camera? Okay, this camera. If you don't want to wear your own shit, then you need to make better shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like I always thought that. Like as far as like clothes, as far as like, I mean, I don't know if this is cocky, but I like to listen to our music because I like the music. You know what I mean? Like
you know what, Dan? That's a good point because I was very mindful of where I was wearing before because I used to wear all the Nikes, the Pumas, the Adidas, the off brands, the Temus of the world. I used to wear like the nothings, right? But the nothings to me were some things because that's all I had. But then I didn't have the vision of, man, I never, like I said, I don't know if I remember said this on your last podcast, but I never intended to have a merch line. I never intended to have a clothing, but I never did intend for that. So it's just going to be me, and it's me with just straight music. But then I learned this from Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle said, you never don't say that you're a rapper. Don't say this. Say you're a brand. Because a brand going to take you farther than you are as just one thing. You got to make sure you do everything. You have to cover every single ground. Every quadrant, you have to cover that ground. Because if you don't, if you stay locked in on one thing, you're boxed in and there's no growth. You know what I'm saying? So while me wearing my brand and different things, I'm like, I have to wear it. It's my uniform. It's my life uniform. When we go to work, we went to go to school, we had to wear, depending on what school you went to, you had to go wear, you had to wear uniform. Yeah. You may not like it, but you had to wear it, right? But then we had dress down Fridays where we could wear jeans and we could wear our jerseys, NBA jerseys and stuff.
But even on the dress down day, whatever you choose to wear is your personal uniform.
Yeah. You know
what I mean?
Yes, he is.
And I think that's really interesting. That's something my grandpa used to say. He's like, everybody's a sheep. First of all, is what he would say. I don't need to get into that. But he's like, because everybody just has their thing that they think they're supposed to be wearing or that in their head is their brand. I don't know brand is what they would say back in the day, but you know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Is this brand awareness to you? Because people ask questions. People will ask you like, oh, is that your brand? And that sparks a conversation. Because I never try to force my brand on people. It wears itself. I literally wear it on my sleeve. So
I like that.
If I wear it on my sleeve, then questions will be asked. And that's not a cocky thing in my head. It's like people ask at my job, where I walk, or if I'm going to a certain common place, like any music events, people will ask questions. So I just, say it out, and then they say, where can I follow you, this and that. So I say, oh, here, tap in. So it's never about the money for me. It's always about the brand awareness and what it means. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a conversation starter.
It's a conversation. Yeah, it is. And on April 11th, we want to have that conversation. I wore the Brooklyn Music Kitchen. You have to check us out. Get your tickets. You're going to get it right now. That was a segue. I don't know.
That was good. That was good.
But yeah, man. So that's what it is, though. But I did not know you were from Delaware, though.
Yeah.
Pierce. I didn't know. Like
10 years here, though.
Oh, so no, you're in New York. You from New York. Made it? You from New York. Yeah, you made it. You from New York. Yeah, come on,
Let's go.
Get a bacon and egg cheese on a hero chopped cheese. A BLT. That's a New York meal right there, man, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Do you know any facts about Delaware?
It's the smallest. Is it one of the smallest states of the U.S.? You just pass right through,
right?
Gotta
be Rhode Island.
Rhode Island's the smallest one. Then Delaware is the second smallest state, right?
Yes.
You just pass right through.
Okay.
Literally.
The only reason I ask is because no one in New York seems to know anything about Delaware. The amount of times I've been asked, "Oh, you taking a plane to get there?" When I'm like going, I went home for my dad's birthday this past weekend, telling you like it's so surprising that it's so centralized and part of like culture in New York, and even like a Philly or Delaware is just so foreign to people and not really thought about. So I always have to explain what it is and where it's this close to Philly and all of that. So more than most New Yorkers already about Delaware. Just that.
By the blink of an eye, you can pass it if you're on the 95, right?
Yes.
Or is it
very quick?
It's the 95, right? If you're on the 95
Right. If you're going to
south,
Baltimore.
yeah, if you're going to Baltimore, that route, you take that route.
Right.
Because last year I did an open mic actually in Delaware. It was a show in Delaware. It was like we found open mic in Delaware. They actually like.
Oh my gosh.
I actually reached out to the people, and it was a cool spot. You know what I mean? So shout out to Delaware for that open mic. I forgot the name of them. Please forgive me, but Delaware is dope. They're kind people. They were friendly people, man, and it was a good time. Me and D-Rock and this is Jay from It's a Different World. We went down there. We drove down there.
Yeah.
So it was like a nice little 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Around there.
That's nice.
Yeah, because from here to Philly,
have to get to Philly.
Philly is like 2.5 hours on the good traffic, and then Delaware is right there. But you can just miss Delaware. If you miss that exit, you're screwed. So
And Delaware is one exit?
No, that's not one exit. There's more than one exit.
That's funny though. That's a good joke though.
It is good.
Yeah.
That is good. Just
Yeah.
one. It's like a Family Guy joke.
You missed
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
exit.
Family
Like,
Guy.
Because you gotta take that bridge.
yeah.
That bridge that connects Philly to Delaware. That bridge. There's a bridge there that connects, right?
Yeah.
Because I always see that bridge when I'm going down there. I'm like, if you miss this bridge, then
It's all over.
you're going to Carolina. You just keep going. You passed it. But yeah, man. But that's dope. So, but I'm glad that you're like. Do you feel like when you up here, like there's like more of an opportunity out here to get with your brand and your style for NBA peers, because you have the NBA logo, but it's like more like it's the mic. You got the mic and your boy Pierce.
Right here.
So you're a big NBA fan, I assume.
I am, especially 90s NBA. So 100%.
Hand checking.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God. Reggie Miller, that was my brother's all-time favorite player. I'm sure I don't know if you're a Knicks fan, but
am.
Oh man.
I am.
Immediately regret saying that name.
Yeah, he did the choking thing in front of Spike.
yeah.
I didn't forget you, Reggie.
Yeah.
I didn't forget you.
Yes, absolutely grew up loving NBA. The first viral song I ever had was sampling the NBA on NBC theme song.
Yeah, I think I heard you perform that, I think. Did you
Yeah,
perform that?
I
think you did, yeah.
I performed it right after Kobe's passing, that show.
January 2020.
Yeah, so I performed it then. And I absolutely, you're totally right, moved here, just the opportunities in music. I was doing shows in Philly for about 5 years. I lived in Philly after I went to college. And I got the opportunity to perform a showcase at Webster Hall, of all places.
Wow, I remember
This was January of 2012. January 9th, 2012. I'll never forget it. It was one of the best days of my life.
Wow.
And
Taking
to
it
come up
back,
to New
bro.
York, this was honestly this was maybe the third time I'd ever stepped foot in New York City at like age 25. Like that's unforgivable to live that close. But Delaware's like that. You kind of like stay in your place.
Yeah.
And I got that opportunity to perform at Webster Hall. I remember getting off the stage that night and thinking to myself, I'm coming here. There's no doubt. This is my favorite performance I've ever done. And then the next year, 2013, I made the move, and just am so grateful for everything, all the shows, and also just career-wise in my previous career in advertising, I just was able to do things, jump to different agencies, and that's just kind of the way it works when you get. You want to get a pay bump, you want to get a title bump. It's kind of a way of just like jumping to different areas, or different agencies. So, yeah, like in all ways, it's been just really fruitful and just so grateful for people I've met and just the shows and man, so many things.
And it's the love that you got for it. You enjoy it because you wouldn't be doing all that, jumping around, moving to New York to be committed. You're officially a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? New York. For 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, like it's not by accident. You know what I mean? If you're talented, they always say if you're talented, don't waste your talent. I know that's like a cliche thing to say, but no, as you get older, you realize that don't waste your talent because I have a ticking time in my head. Like I gotta get things done now.
Yeah.
Time gets faster as you get older.
Future.
Time gets faster as you get older, but time goes slow when you're younger. Because you think you have so much time, so much headroom ahead. But when that threshold reaches that peak of the time, like now it's like a warp speed. It's like a joke.
Right.
It's like a dark joke, a warp speed to death. Because every day we get closer to that day. Ooh. But that's just a dark joke. That's not really serious about that. You know what I'm saying? But like,
I'm never gonna die, so it's okay.
No. No, our spirits are gonna be alive.
Write that down.
I'm just joking.
No, we can make a song out of that.
Never gonna die.
Oh.
You know that one? That's a new one. I just wrote that
right
one.
now.
Right
Heard
now.
it here first.
Right now, I'll take 3%. Don't worry about it. I'll give that to you. Don't worry about that.
We'll give you 4, bro.
4?
Yeah.
4.5. Round off to 5.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
And Pierce get 5 too because he's with me.
Whoa.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
It's very
I like
easy
this
to
guy.
consider.
Solid 10% for the couch.
Yes.
Yes.
10%. Yeah, I like it.
Do you feel like this about like from Philly up to New York? It's kind of easy to consider people in those states as like kind of part of a New York wave, unless you're just really talking shit. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a
Like,
good point.
I don't know. I feel
Not
like,
Boston though, right?
No, that's why I said Philly up to New York. Like,
Okay, my bad. Yeah.
Boston's totally different.
Yeah.
And they don't even want to consider themselves. Like, we're like total rivals from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I feel like when people come from like Delaware, Philly, DC,
DMV area,
Maryland, I feel like that's so close to here. Like I feel like sometimes like I just consider them kind of part of a New York wave, unless you're really nitpicking and wanting to talk shit, like about teams, about rappers, about you know what I mean? Just like, where are you from again? Like, that, like,
Yeah.
Oh, I'd never heard of it.
Can you identify like who's from New York or who's from Delaware? You're not from New York and from Delaware. Can you pick them out?
Oh yeah.
Based on what they say, the accent. Like, do you have an accent in Delaware?
Okay, I didn't think I ever had an accent until I moved here. And they're like, "Where are you from? What is that accent?"
like
I'm
you-
like, "Wait, what?"
You look at you like you got horns in your head, right?
But I do that to me too.
I think I've lost a lot of it, like the O letter, and like I'm being very careful how I pronounce it. And like phone and home, is something that you can immediately tell if they're from the Philadelphia/Delaware area.
Really?
But like going back to Sifa's point, geographically so close, but real talk, worlds apart in terms of like just I think mentality and just the way that just the Philly area is it's so like hyper, what's the word? Like the culture is so hyper focused and it's just ingrained in like the way you are, like you're an Eagles fan and just tradition of even like going to like I still go to high school basketball games of my like high school when I go home and see people I knew back then. And I think it's so different. Like it was hard for me when I moved here to like relate to a lot of people who were like, oh, my family went on vacation like France or wherever. I was like, oh, we worked through, like we did 51 weeks of like whatever. And then we went to the beach one week and it was amazing. And then it was 51 weeks again. And like, that's what it was.
Okay.
So definitely like it took a while like for me to kind of adjust to like the pace. And so I think that the theme of geographically close, but just so different in so many ways.
Like I think like everything in New York is fast paced. If you like when we were born here, we were born into this. Like Pierce was born in Delaware and then he has roots in Philly. It's like you have every single stopping ground. So you kind of like had to adjust everywhere you had to go. But when you came to New York, it's like it's really fast. And I have to be fast. Like I really like certain things as I was taking the train going to school when I was younger. When I started doing it by myself, I'm like, okay, you can't walk, you can't be dragging your feet, you can't be hunched over your back. You gotta move. In New York, you gotta move. Mind your goddamn business. You know? And then that's the two things you gotta do. But sometimes the goddamn business finds you. You know, like some things happen on the train or public transportation or in New York, or when you go into a store, you just wanted to buy a bag of chips, and then next thing you know, there's a homeless person and this person fighting over something very minute. And then you're like, oh, that's crazy. And then you just kind of walk past it and then go about your day. Go about your business. That's the New York lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? But here, what we got to go, what we got to do is like, if you're passionate about something, it's kind of like you just got to just frick. Can I curse on the podcast?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if I cursed the last time. But I probably did, and I probably didn't realize it. I'm trying to change my life, but fuck it.
One more at a time.
You just gotta fucking go. You know, you just gotta go and get after it, and don't let no one tell you nothing. Because the moment you let somebody just kind of like sun you down to where your level where it's like they don't want to see you succeed because they're not succeeding. You know, I see that. I'm like, how can you do that when we have so much life and so much space around us? You know what I mean? We have so much beautiful talents out here. So why don't you exercise that to the best of your ability? But you know what? I used to be mad at that, but I don't know how you feel about this, Pierce, Dan and Seafood, but like when haters say something, like if y'all get on the comments in your YouTube videos and your comments, anything like that, if you get hecklers, you know what? I like to have fun with them without getting offended. Before I used to get offended like, oh, I'm about post your location right now. Post your location. I swear to God, I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna say, oh, you're not so big and bad and tough. Now, what's Qwerty Loop? Qwerty Loop and the keyboard and the keyboard warriors. You know, that's the formation of QWERT. I know that. I know. I'm part of that life too. I'm part of the itty bitty, you know what I'm saying? That Twitter life, that comment life.
So, do you respond to all negative comments?
Not all of them. I like it. I just like the comment, and I'm like, thank you for your engagement. I appreciate it. You know, like that means a lot. It helps the algorithm, and then I'll just troll them back, and whatever they say, I try to find the comment they said there, and I flip it right back at them. You know, I'm a one and done guy. I say one thing, and I'm not going back and forth.
A whole argument. Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But I'm gonna say one thing that you think I'm not gonna let you see me break me down. You're not gonna see me on your level. I'm just gonna show you why with you. I'm gonna make you look stupid. I'm just gonna make you look stupid, and I'm gonna bow gracefully.
Yeah, I've gone through different phases. I mean, at first, I never really got pissed because I always knew it was just stupid. But I used to be like, oh, I want to say something smart. I want to. And then I got to a point where I'm just like, why am I wasting my energy on this?
That's what they want.
There's only so much energy that I have in a day. I'd rather use that towards productive things. I'd rather use it towards making more music or being with the people I love or whatever. Even if it takes 5 seconds for me to type that, there's 5 seconds I could use better.
Exactly. You're never going to see that person. You're never going to see that person, in every life.
Not.
I hope not. I pray to God, I hope not. Because we'll know if that's the person. If that said that. You remember what the comment you said there on YouTube in January 14th, 2019?
Got the receipts.
At 6:43 p.m. You remember that comment? That was me. I'm like, oh, that was you?
What's your current thoughts on this?
Sometimes people are just in that moment. It could be like 4 weeks down the line, and they probably won't even remember that they said that. It was just right in that moment. I'm trying to treat everybody like how I treat people outside in the street in New York. It's like, okay, and I'm just
not the head turned back like
at all. Sometimes they say funny things, like if they say we're talking too much over the music. Once in a while, I'll say something funny like, well, the song is available on YouTube if you want to hear it. Like, why you come here?
That's a great point.
Like things like that. I prefer to say things that make me kind of chuckle. I don't want to I don't want anything to go back and forward. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to end it.
And you don't want people to see, like your audience see that you're going back and forth. You don't want them to see that you're easily, you're easily bothered by comments that. Okay, but you're just helping the algorithm, and you're just helping my page get more people going to see it. So if people seeing me going back and forth with you, other comments going to say like, oh, I can do the same thing to them. I can ruffle Dan's feathers. I can ruffle Pierce's feathers. I can ruffle Seafood's feathers. I can ruffle C.E.L.Beatz feathers. I can get away with it and say it, and they're going to engage with me because for them, that's their highlight of their day. The highlight of their day is saying, oh, they responded back to me. They responded. I must be important because I responded. I got it. Yeah, but
what helps you train yourself with that is not even responding to the good comments too. Like I've looked at other reactors pages, those who have 10,000 more. They literally don't have time to go through like every single comment.
Comes too fast.
They probably read them, but you can read them, but the time it takes to actually turn your brain on to engage is different. Than
it's tiring mentally. You have to be mentally prepared for that.
So so some of even the great comments, unless it's like the person who reacted, some of the great comments I won't even react to them. So that helps you not react to the bad comments either.
Jeez, I won't react to
discipline.
Wow. Steve is a YouTube monk now.
Yes. Monk mode.
You cracked the code.
I will show you the way.
Yeah.
That is funny though. I feel like sometimes every now and then if I look at my phone, I'm just in a bad mood, I just might set one off real quick and then be like, why did I do that? That might happen once every couple weeks. I don't do it too much. I used to do it sometimes. whatever.
Yeah. But, shout out to the haters, though. Shout out to all comments of the YouTube comments.
Yeah,
Instagram
everyone comment
comments.
on this about why you hate us.
Comment or why.
Everyone comment right now.
What you hate about us individually. Each one. Just look at the video right now.
Leave a separate comment about each 4 of us.
Yeah, you, look at me.
You know what I do want to ask you guys? Like, how do you feel your music has evolved since 2019?
Ooh, good
right?
question.
Like, who are you now compared to then?
You want to take this one, Pierce?
Sure, I'll go first. I think I trust myself a lot more with just the overall process. So I feel more confident in knowing that it will come, that the next line will come, the next chord will come, and just sitting and putting all distractions aside, ideally first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee, and just whatever the assignment is that day, whether I'm doing a beat or writing or like mixing for someone, it's just sitting there and just trusting. And sometimes, and I've been really geeking out on Rick Rubin's book. Like, he covers a lot of this. It's so good, The Creative Act, and it's just I don't know what it is. If you call it like the universe, or you call it your muse or whatever, just the words that are not your own just come in, and that's the line. Like, and don't question it. Just, okay, that's the line, go. And I've been trying to the extent of don't even get out of the seat until this verse is done. Like, that's, so I would say just the confidence in the process.
Nice.
That means you're locked in.
That was inspiring.
That very inspiring.
Those words inspired.
Those words, it was an inspired word that we're going to have express
we're gonna
on April
also-
11th. That doing April 11th. Inspired word, Brooklyn Music Kitchen, Tie After Dark, NBA Pitt, C.E.L.Beatz, featuring the same show. We got other acts as well. Y'all got to get y'all tickets now on Eventbrite. Go get it now before it gets sold out, all right?
That's right.
Back to your question, Sifa. For me... It's like an old school radio. It's like an old school radio, like the ad, and then we just go like, it's like, because as I used to do a podcast too, but like it's some of that still comes back into it. But for me, 2019, like I said, like I was a baby basically in performing stage. So like for me, my songwriting wasn't as sharp as it is right now because I was still finding my way. I didn't know about, even looking at I hate looking at my old performances, but I love it at the same time because at the same time, it's like, I didn't know about crowd control in terms of don't just go there and start memorizing what you did in the studio.
Right.
It's completely different. You do not rap like how you rap in the studio unless you're Eminem because he sounds exactly the same as he is in the studio on live. And he's a great live performer, but rapping. But like for me, I had stage fright when I was young. I had ultimate stage fright. I couldn't do plays as a kid. I was scared. I had a stuttering. I had a speech impediment. I had all those. I have a lisp. You know what I'm saying? I have a slight lisp. You won't realize it, but I do. But I had all those insecurities. But then when 2019 came, I was like this. Listen, I'm a 28-year-old man. If I ain't going to come out here and talk to these people about your art, then when is the right time? When is going to be the right time?
Right.
Because to me, I feel like I went through my teen years with feeling like this. I damn near pretty much went through my 20s like this. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in my early 30s, and I'm just feeling like I am just still scratching the surface, but I've evolved so much within that time in COVID. My writing has become much more, I'm more like song-driven. Like, I used to do lyrical exercises like writing lines a day, right, just write words. You don't have to make no sense, just write words. Write your thoughts out, clear it out. Incorporate some of your personal life and how to make it relatable to people. So now I find landmarks in my writing, like the crowd's gonna say this, the crowd gonna get behind this when I go on stage. So now I'm thinking about stage instead of studio.
Right.
Studio, I can just I on the fly. When I hear it, you don't know until you hear it when you say it. You can say it and rehearse it, but before you go to the studio, you go in there like, oh, I don't like that. Nah, the crowd gotta say this like this way. I gotta say it this way. I gotta say it certain this way. It's more like you're doing rhyme design or song design as you're going in your head and you go into the studio. Stage design, how you gonna do for the crowd. So my mentality now from 5 years before, I'm now right to interact with the crowd, with the audience, on stage. Because I want them to see that my live performance is my apex. That's my bread and butter.
That's the experience.
That's the experience because now, and it comes in full circle from being shy and timid kid growing up to me and like, no, put me on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Put me on the stage. I will go out there and I'll give you my 110% and I will rip that shit, no questions asked. I'm leaving no stone unturned, and I'm coming for blood. We wearing red like my boy NBA.
Oh wow!
Side the dark and black. You know what I'm saying? Black and red, red and black. So we out there. That's the mentality I have with it.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? So and as a producer too, I make my beats according to that too. I make it like in comparison with that. So I just like to make sure that I have like a good surround. Everything's like a triad. Everything's a quadrant. Everything's in 3s and 4s and 6s and quadruples. And I make it into a way where like now it makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that was a very long, convoluted answer, but like that's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel that. I mean, I think with what we do, we've definitely become more crowd centric since COVID. Well, probably because we were just happy to be around people again. Yeah. But like thinking, I mean, now we literally like write out like, what are we gonna say before this song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we have like, okay, this song has an intro. This song we don't do the intro until we start it. This song we say this before we literally would be like we say this to the crowd, then we start the song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we literally break it down. Like what is the whole set gonna be? Just not what is the order of the songs gonna be. You know what I mean?
I can tell because when I went to your show last week, even all your performances, but even recently, like it's like I can almost tell okay, Dan's gonna talk to the crowd right now. I know he's gonna talk. I know. Like he's gonna do that. And then like same thing. Yeah, you're very conversationalist too with the crowd. Like and it blends in. And you're more like I know you heard that. I know. Are you happy? You have questions. You know what I'm saying? Every time you're about to ask about that who likes edibles line, I kind of like. I get nervous because I just have PTSD from when I had edibles 5 years ago, before COVID, and then like I'm like, I want to raise my hand in support, but I have to like pull it back because I don't want to take it and then I'll give it to somebody that
just give it to someone.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't want. It should go to people that really want some.
Respect.
And then
Respect.
You know, ain't no wasting of those no edibles around here. But yeah.
So for the set list, are the words "throw edibles" on like written on the set list?
No.
You said every action.
We know. So we know we're gonna do East Side edibles, and we know we're gonna throw. We throw edibles at people before we do this song. So when we say intro, we know what the intro is. Like we've already written this out in our heads. Like we can just look at each other and be like, "Oh, it's time for this."
It's time.
We don't have to be like, "Oh, are we gonna do the thing?" And Sifa's like, "What thing?" And I'm like, "Oh,
read it on the paper."
That almost happened at the last show because they wanted an encore. They wanted us to do one more song.
We did,
and it was Free World. And Dan's like, "Do the intro," and I was like, "What?"
"Oh yeah,"
for like
because it was out of the set.
It was out of the set list.
Oh, so it wasn't
for 2 seconds, he's like, "Do the intro," and I'm like.
And
then it was like 2 seconds, and I was like,
"You're like, what intro?" I'm like, "The one that we do for every time we do this song."
So it was a reminder, like the set list, like it's a reminder of what it keeps you saying of the show to keep the show going.
Yeah,
we have a set list because I've seen a lot of artists like had the set list on the floor, taped on the floor.
That's what we've been doing. Yeah. We've started doing that the last couple of shows. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a big difference as opposed to doing like a regular like 2-song open mic as opposed to like a full set 30-minute show?
Well, if I know the set list is going to be on the floor, now I still memorize it because just in case, I do like a little acronym or whatever. And like if it's not on the set list, it's like Ron Burgundy, like you ever saw Anchorman, or like Ron
go fuck yourself, San Diego,
or not. I'm like Free World intro. It took like a second or two for me to be like, what? But if the set list is there, I'm gonna memorize it just in case because you never know. The set list can get kicked off the stage. I don't know. Something can happen.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think we're very opposite on this actually.
Really?
Because all right, so this actually goes. I got to rewind a little bit. This kind of goes back to what you were saying about letting yourself be open to like the muses or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like when we're playing, like live especially, like if I'm really doing it right, then I'm not doing anything. I'm just letting myself become a vessel for the vibrations around me, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm doing it really right, I don't even remember shit. Like some shows will stop, I don't even remember the show because I'm just my conscious is off, my subconscious is on. So I'll forget what the order of the song is all the time. If I don't have it written out, I'll have to be like, fuck, what are we gonna do? And I'll hope that you know
the acronym.
It's like you're
but if not, I can just look down and be like, oh, right. And that definitely keeps me like, oh, like, we are like, this is a spiritual thing of music, but there are people here that are here to see a show, and I need to remember what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to there needs to be songs.
Yeah, there has to be songs.
They didn't come to see us do stand-up.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but that's an interesting point because I've done like the most time I've ever did a performance is ironically for Inspired Word 5 years ago. It's just number 5 years ago. The 2019.
You were there.
Yes, y'all were there.
Yeah.
And then I was supposed to go for like 30, 35 minutes. I damn near went for an hour.
Really?
You know?
Wow.
Mike let that happen?
Mike let that happen. Mike must really rock with me. Thank you, Mike, for that. I know this. I know I'm not doing no damn hour because I think because I was the only feature that night, and that's when he had 2 features that night. I was the only feature that night, so I had a little more headroom, but I didn't know because I was so nervous. But I didn't have a set list. I didn't have it written down. I just knew what I wanted to play next. Like I had it on my phone basically. So I had I know what I want to play, and I was controlling. I was the DJ. I was the engineer. I was cooking up, I was playing that. Right. So I was looking at the thing on my phone and say, okay, that's next. But that's a good point that y'all had it because that's something that I may do because I've never done. I never typed it out and written out, okay, song 1. Because I write it out on my book first. I write, like with the set for the April 11th, I was like, I went through like 6, 7 different changes. I know this, like, even certain songs that pair together, like it's like it had to be a segue because I'm trying to make it theatrical in the small amount of time that we have, you know? So that is very helpful, like to have that stuff is not giving you insight on it, and it's not a distraction, it's a guide.
Yeah.
And
I've seen some serious set lists where it's like they'll tell you what key, they'll be like such and such song.
Oh really? That detail?
Like so the band can all stay on point because I guess they do different
Makes
nights.
sense.
That's
what
what I
They
want.
do a different key, some other state or something.
With live bands, right? Because I always wonder how the band knows what to cue in, but I be seeing people like, the artists do a certain finger wave to them or the drummer like this means something with that, let the piano play, let the guitar, this riff going, and then this is the end. Of course, this is to close it.
Yeah.
Open is to like, open the,
Yeah. Do those things.
Oh my God. Well,
do these.
you guys ever heard of?
Nod.
Oh, what did you say?
I always look for your head nod on stage.
Yeah, you have a head nod.
Wait, for what? To do what?
For, I don't know, whatever we begin.
You have a head nod.
Like, I don't know.
I do that?
There.
Yeah, you do that. You do that.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm about, I don't remember. I don't even realize that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
And y'all don't talk about like coordination, like what we're gonna do. Like this signals for that signal. That signals for this. This do it for this. This is like this. This here is gonna be for that.
Nah, we don't.
You don't do that?
Not really.
That's like a play call in football.
Well, bro. So okay. So have you guys ever heard of a man named Frank Zappa?
Sounds familiar.
He was a. Have you ever heard of him?
Never heard of him.
He was this guy. He was like a composer, like rock composer in the 70s, and he would have his band trained to the point where he could do a hand signal, and they would go from having this song be a rock song to having it be a reggae song.
Wow.
like
By the switch of a finger?
literally, he'd just be like, and now it's a reggae song.
Wow.
Like I've never seen anything like that extent. You guys should look this up at some point
amazing.
after.
that, what's his name? What's his name again?
Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa. It sounds
Yeah.
familiar. I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah,
powerful.
that's like the
that's power.
apex of everything of what you're talking about. I've never seen some shit like that. We made reaction videos about this. It's insane. I've never seen things like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's talk about on one accord.
You would think Fish has to have stuff like that with the amount,
with the jam,
with how
the
long,
jamming.
20-minute jams and
Yeah.
key changes, and it's so thorough and improvised that there has to be something.
And who's the lead off? And who's the lead off person? To do
Well, that's an interesting thing when you're talking about like the jam bands. Like, I mean, I've never been in a jam band, but I've been like in a rock band, and I know like, okay, we're gonna do this for this amount of time, and then we listen to the drummer, and he's gonna do this fill, and that means we're going to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's just how we did it. But like for other bands, obviously they might do it different ways, and they might have things like that. And I always wonder of like, I mean, Grateful Dead and Fish are like the jam band, like the height of that. So I always curious, like how much of this do they have planned out, and how much of it is just in the moment, turn your brain off, let your instrument go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems just predominantly the latter, just because they can do a certain song 100 times over years, and it's never the same.
never the same way they play it.
So that kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
Man, like all of this are for like stage performance for like, and the set's not long. It's only like 30 minutes. Sometimes even less, but that 30 minutes will treat it like a whole hour. Some people go for an hour.
Oh yeah. Are you debuting a new song?
Any new songs? I may have a new one there. I'm still working on. I'm still working out the kinks of it because it's unfinished yet. But some of it's recorded, or I may do a sample of it and just to see how the reaction is.
Yeah.
You know. But there's songs that I haven't performed in a while that I want to revisit from 5 years ago. This number. I'm just saying. Like this. There's because like what I'm doing like. Okay, so I don't know if you're seeing my stories. What I'm starting to do, I'm taking people on the journey from how I started with music videos to now, from 2019.
Yeah, I saw those.
To now, like every day I'm going to post a video in chronological order to evolution, you know?
Oh, cool.
So it's like, and I still have stuff from before that too, but I may do that the week leading up to it. So, and it's also a way for me to see a vision, like how did I like went from here and how did I evolve? I have to see myself in real time as I'm living it. Because now I'm living it now. I'm living through, we all live through stuff. We all been through things, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a thing where like I have to, sometimes it's time I gotta go back to go forward. You know? Because there's some songs that I won't perform again.
Yeah.
And then there's songs that I will always perform no matter what.
That.
Yeah.
Are there songs or is there anything, not just songs, but is there anything stage-wise or performance-wise that you don't like to do anymore that you used to when you started out?
I will say Teleport.
Okay.
And I know that's a surprise to a lot of people because I'm synonymous with Teleport. If you know what Teleport is, it is the Grape Henny. It is the hood classic.
I thought it was a song.
All right. No, it is.
Like,
Well, it's his song.
It's my song.
okay.
Yeah, Teleport. But the funny thing is, like, everybody knows me of that. That's where the whole Uncle Cell came from, all that, with all that. And that's going to be part of the journey, too. But that's one song I don't think I'll perform anymore because I've grown so much from that because I was just having fun with that. I'm a completely different person from that before, you know. But at the same time, it's a part of my history. It's part of who I am. So if anyone associates with Teleport, I'm not going to be mad at it. It's just and it's a very tiring song to perform. I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm rapping, doing this and that. You know, one last going to the Teleport, then to the, you know what I'm saying? Like every time I'm going down, I just think about getting out of breath from just saying those words, you know? But I know it's like a favorite. Back then in 2019, it was a favorite whenever I could perform everywhere, you know? But then after when COVID happened, my whole thing can change completely. You know what I'm saying? So, but there are like my EP last year when I came here last time to promote that one, Under No Circumstance, which is on all streaming platforms right now. Spotify, UNC. Yeah, that was the Baby Blue, you know? The whole Jordan look, you know? 4 tracks, 5 cuts. Definitely gonna perform some tunes off that one. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people heard that one live.
Really? You're gonna do some songs on that one?
I'm gonna do some songs, Dan. Can you guess what songs I'm gonna do, Dan?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
We might have to talk about this.
Yeah, talk about that.
We might have to talk about some things for the show.
We have to talk about some things about the show. We have to for April 11th. If you didn't get your tickets, like I said, Brooklyn Music Kitchen, NBA Pierce, Side After Dark, C.E.L.Beatz, and others. We're gonna be here, have a great show. Get your tickets in Brooklyn. All right. So back to what you were saying, Dan.
What about you?
Was I saying something?
Pierce?
I don't know.
What songs do you not like to do anymore? What kind of stuff?
So I was thinking about this, and while I can't think of a song that I don't do anymore, I can think of like a show action that I don't do anymore, which is I don't have any drinks before shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not that I would be like 10 beers deep or anything before any shows, but there were definitely times where I was like a good buzz going up there, and it's just, I don't know, I just need to, and I think you're all the same in this.
There's like who you me who,
but I no, like afterwards, it's nice to have one with like, a celebratory with friends.
When it's all done.
It's like you feel so good. Ideally, you feel good about the performance, and but beforehand, just that's something I've cut out in terms of like show ritual. If you will.
Okay.
Is it like, do you think like when you drink, like I'm kind of like the same way, kind of now. But did you like before when you were doing that, were you drinking that out to calm the nerves down, or do you just do that to like I'm just gonna have a drink, can't hurt before I perform?
I think that was part of it.
It's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
That's funny. I was just thinking about this on Friday at the show, our last show that you came there, and I was with my friend before, and I'm like, I always get anxious before a show, which I think is good because if you're not getting anxious, then like you probably don't care enough.
You're not gonna have no soul, yeah.
So like I'm like sitting there, my boy's like, oh, like you seem kind of anxious, you should have a drink, and I'm like, no, because I want the anxiety because the anxiety will fuel my performance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially for you though, like with what you do, I could not imagine having any kind of buzz and trying to do that. That's crazy.
No, man. I don't know how you do
The first time I saw him was at Inspired Word in the dictionary freestyle. He literally has a dictionary. He's like, somebody pick a random page of this dictionary. I'm gonna freestyle every word. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just trying to imagine somebody doing that drunk.
It wouldn't be pretty.
That would be no. That's not it.
I mean,
Who wants me to slur this whole
Yeah.
page?
If I slur enough, it sounds like all the
if
words.
I said I'm buying drinks for everybody in this goddamn bar right now.
Yeah.
But did you ever like mess up by drinking? You ever got so hammered or so like tipsy before a performance where you kind of messed up and everybody noticed it, or did you notice it?
I mean, I'm sure. I can't think of. It's been like, I don't know, 8 years.
Oh, that's too far. Oh,
before I performed.
I got you.
I'm sure there were mistakes. There had to have been.
Yeah, but it just makes you realize like, okay, drinking before any performance is never good. I learned that the hard way because one time I messed up on my words. I messed up on Inspired Word. I don't know. Y'all probably weren't there that one performance, but I know I messed up. But my recovery speed is so like you wouldn't even notice, but I know I did. I act like it's part of the song.
Right.
And then like I just keep going. Because if you stop and wonder like that, you're gonna be
then everyone knows.
Then everybody knows. And then that stage, well, thank God for Brooklyn Music Kitchen because you cannot see shit down when you're on that stage. So if you were to do that, you could just kind of like, wing it. You're like, hey, you start telling jokes. But like, so like I feel like me drinking water now, like how I was telling Dan before the pod, like I'm like lately I've been drinking alcohol during the weekdays, except for 5 p.m. on Fridays. Starting from 5 p.m. on Friday to 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night, I can drink alcohol, but I don't have to. But the last time I drank some was with your show.
Oh yeah,
that was after that.
That was a fun night.
That was a fun night,
Yeah.
and that was a very, very interesting fun night. Yeah, it was.
Just breaking a bunch of glass bottles.
Breaking a bunch of glass
Sanctioned,
bottles.
though. It was at a
It
bar.
was sanctioned.
They allow you to break
Bar?
bar.
Yeah. My boy.
That's
Let's
funny.
go.
Yeah, that's what
because like we had to sign a waiver for him on that, and then we had to wear goggles.
Yeah.
I'm protected by my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So you ain't gonna let me sign the waiver and say something gonna happen to me. But then what they had in there was like images of different people. I'm like, I'm scared to say some of the names that they have over there, so I ain't gonna say about it. But like,
fill in the blanks.
Yeah, just fill in the blanks. Everybody that you thought that was a bad person,
pretty predictable
for the last couple months. Yeah. Just don't go to those parties. Yeah. But it was cool.
I think for me being completely sober while performing is extremely important.
Yeah.
Like if I couldn't, like I like to partake in some marijuana sometimes.
Of course, everybody.
If I had even the smallest hit before a show, I would just like melt under the lights. Like my whole energy is different.
Yeah.
I'm not like hype, you know what I mean? I'm just
exactly.
like, and everything would change.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact. I would never even put myself in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I feel like when you're hydrated throughout the day, and also they say like not talking as much when you have a bit, like on April 11th, I'm probably not going to talk as much. I'm probably just going to save all the energy, save the voice. I'm just going to pirate my phone. Also, quick question, side note. When y'all have like a big show on the same day, do y'all shut off social media or do y'all like kind of like keep it open for a certain time limit and then until showtime?
I don't really think about that, to be honest.
No.
Because I had people would say like, I won't be on my phone all day, but they're telling us that they're not going to be on their phone while they're on their phone. That I always find that is some superstar shit.
Let me tell all my followers that I'm not going to let them follow anything.
That is some superstar shit. Like, I mean, like, I wouldn't even just say it. I would just say, if y'all know it's show, that y'all know what time it is. If y'all know who y'all mess with, if y'all know you rock with me, y'all know it's showtime. I shouldn't have to say that, you know? But at the same time, I get it from that perspective. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I want to engage because I'm already locked in. I'm not just getting locked in because the day of. I've been locked in since I was booked. I've been locked in since it was like I'm locked in. Yeah. So I can have a whole conversation with you, all this and that and all that, and still go up there and give y'all the best. You know what I'm saying? Like I can, because the lights switch. It just switch. when y'all on stage, I feel like I'm interviewing y'all. I'm so sorry if I feel like I'm asking y'all questions. I'm so sorry.
No, that's what it's all about.
I'm so because I'm fans of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Because like I see y'all perform many times. So when y'all get on that stage, right? Does it just flip instantly? Like does it switch?
First note.
Because you start off the riff, right? Because you start off with the riff, and once you start off with the Sifa sometimes may sing.
I mean, no matter what it is, even if it's the beat, if it's just a guitar thing, as soon like when we're setting up on the stage, and it's not on yet, but as soon as it starts, that's it.
And for you, Pierce, like when you try to find out, do you have like a group of words that people may say that you could prepare, or you go over there like cold turkey? You don't know what people are gonna shout out. How can you always be mentally ready to spit hot fire? And it makes sense, and you make sense. You're not just out there freestyling, talking about it just to make words rhyme. No, you are a seasoned, trained, lyrical freestyle killer. Whoa. You know.
Thank you.
Man. You got names. Man. You got names. You got bodies, man, on the words.
Got bodies on the words.
You know, you got bodies on words. You know, and some of them may be inspired.
Yeah.
You know. April 11th. April 11th.
You got to do it now.
Yeah.
We're already this is.
April 11th.
April 11th.
We're going to have more lyrical, I'm not going to say that word, more lyrical greatness that's going to be coming.
Lyrical misdemeanors.
Lyrical misdemeanors. Ooh, that's a song title. Misdemeanor.
I like that.
Misdemeanor.
Yeah. Spit it cleaner.
Yeah. Oh! Can't fall asleep because I can't be a dreamer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. We're doing that.
It's cold turkey. Cold turkey.
Okay, let him
Cold turkey?
Yeah.
Man, my last name James. They call me Worthy.
Let's go.
Wait, but now I'm really into this though. Wait, do you try to purposely clear your mind before? Like, do you like meditate and stuff? Do you like purposely like try to leave your mind like a blank slate so that when you get up there, anyone can throw whatever in? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's you go in with full openness. If you're going to do something like that, you can't go in with any expectations whatsoever.
No preconceived notion.
Right. Because someone is literally, I'm handing someone a dictionary and they're thumbing to a page. Sometimes they're just going like this. You just do a quick, like, you've picked many a page. And and other people are like thumbing through, I'm like, are you looking for your favorite word? Like, what's going on? You got 2 bars left. Let's go. But no, I clear my mind entirely, and it is you asked. It's cold turkey. It's just again. It goes back to the trust thing. The Rick Rubin.
Yes,
you know, this trust of just
I get that book.
It's like free fall. Yeah, you're like I'm in. There's no turning back. So I definitely clear my mind. I am a fan of meditation. I've been bad last week, but I got to get back on it. Even if it's like 10 minutes a day. It's such a game changer.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
April 11th.
There you go.
What's happening April 11th?
This some show. Brooklyn Music Kitchen. It is 6 artists, and you're seeing 3 of the acts right here. Brooklyn Music Kitchen, Thursday, April 11th. It's going to be diverse talent. It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. I have not been this excited for a long time.
I have it, and when Mike hit me up and said, "Do you want to perform, Damien?" So it's like. I'm like, oh,
he does drop the government.
He does.
Yeah. He drops the government.
Yeah,
it's always.
I'm like, okay.
The imitation just killed me. Bro.
Yeah. Like he said, I could picture. He said he DM'd me. I said, yeah, sure. What, April 11th? I said, yeah. Give me. I said, give me like 3 months. I said, give me like 3 months. This is back in January. Yeah. He asked me. I said, give me 3 months. That was like February. It's like what, February, March, April. Yeah, it's kind of like 3 months. And that was January. He asked me, it's like, give me like 3 months and I'll just prepare for it and everything like that. Because I was even talking about like, because there's certain stuff I want to do for a performance like that, 30 minutes. But 30 minutes can feel like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, easy. Mm-hmm. You have a whole set list, practice, song to the T, maybe special guest features, stuff like that. But it's all time in coordination. And also, we even talk about this. Rehearsal, whether it's a solo show or band show. I've understood the importance. Oh, that's one thing that to your question earlier about 5 years before, 5 years from now. I'm rehearsing a little bit more now than I was before because I've always thought from before, like I've rehearsed, but like I didn't rehearse like I think I was like it was a nervous rehearsal. Me now is more so to get sharp, keep it sharp, keep it sharp, keep it sharp, keep it sharp, over and over and over again, repetition. You know, when before it was more like a nervous rehearsal. I don't want to forget my lines. I don't want to forget my song.
Right, but
yeah.
now you know that you have it.
I have it because I know.
Question of keeping it.
Right. And keep it that same level of energy and do it for like 5-6 songs for 30 minutes and time yourself and make sure you're on time. Because for me, I don't want to cut into anybody else's time. I don't want to be that person to like, I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm trying to like get in and out, but still making an effective show. That's why I write my sequence of order. Like if I have certain things that's going to happen in a certain show, I make sure I pair them together. You know, this is going to be for this. If it's by two, it's here or here. I end with this. I start with this. That's easy. I know what I'm going to start with. I know what I'm going to end with. Now the middle is the way you have to kind of like build up the puzzle and everything like that. And that's how I kind of try to do it with my performance. But like I said, April 11th, man, we drill into these people's heads. April 11th, you know, because Mike wants promo for this. Mike definitely, like, he's drilling us with the promo and all that. We've seen it, inspired words.
Yeah, well, people really should get their tickets because the venue
is not
oblongly
huge.
shaped.
It's not.
It really, honestly, I'm not just saying this is a sales thing.
Yeah.
It actually might sell out pretty quick.
Yes.
So don't wait. If you're watching this and you're thinking about coming, don't wait because you might not be able to come by the
You
time
better
you
be there at 7 o'clock.
I'm the type of person that likes to have the option of sitting down or standing, right?
Right.
So I need to get there for a seat to be there.
Yeah.
Just for there to be an option. You
And
know, if I want to stand, I'll stand. But I don't like to have to stand.
Yeah.
So if you're like me, you're going to want to get your tickets early.
As in right now, as you're seeing this.
And that was a nice way of saying that because, you know, people sometimes you got to drill into their head like they like to come an hour after you tell them the time that you want them to come, to come. If the damn thing starts at 7 o'clock, God damn it, be here at 6:30. Not 6:30 and like on a dizzy, but like just don't come at 9 o'clock if I say 7 o'clock. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're gonna miss my performance.
Have I missed the battle?
Yeah, we're dead.
Did something happened?
Yeah, we're all dead because of you. But I say this to say I tell people like 7 p.m. If you see it on the flyer, if you see it 7 p.m. so you can get the entire experience. You're not gonna really enjoy the whole night if you don't watch everybody. You know what I'm saying? Don't just watch for one person you came for. Watch for everybody else because everyone else is super mega talented. You may become their fans. You want to follow them. There's people that like I've reached out to many people. I'm like, please just don't come for my performance. Stay. I have dope people there. I got my friends on there. I got dope people that dope artists over there. Please don't just come because I don't want to look back on me like, oh, you just came for me and left. I said, no, stay, please stay the whole time.
That's
you know.
Nice.
I'd rather that because I want you to feel the whole experience because everybody deserves that. Y'all deserve that. We all do. You know, we work hard, we practice, we take our craft seriously. And I feel like when we do the promo, we bust our ass. I'm going to do some more promo. I got, you know, I'm creative with my it's that time of year again. It's time of year again. So I'm like, skits, the clone to C.E.L.Beatz clones is going to be coming back. And, you know, and I have some creative ways I'm thinking in my head. Y'all probably see it in some next few weeks, you know.
I mean, yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, getting actual people to the place. Because especially in like today's day and age, you know, I mean, obviously a lot of people are going to be watching this. They're not here in the room right now. And it's easy to just see things online and like feel like you know a person or feel like you know the experience. But until you're actually there and you can feel the the vibrations of the music in our case, it's just a completely different thing. Like you can, even when you're listening to something in, you know, headphones, like, oh, you know what the song is going to be. But when you're actually there and you can see the person, you can feel them, you know what I mean? It's just a completely different thing that will never be replicated on a recording. It just never will.
It can't be because, you know, when you're in that moment, when you're in that mode, like, everything is in a standstill. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a time of its own, you know? So I always try to like tell people like, don't just what you're paying for is an experience. You're here for an experience. You're not just here to like, you know, to you know, lollygag or whatever. You at a show, you at a venue, you know where you at, you know? And you see people that's work hard on stage, work hard to get on stage and perform, and they train, they prepared, they bust their ass for this. So all I'm just saying that for all of us, you know, April 11th. We should all say it together. On a count of 3. On a 1, a 2, a 3. April 11th, Brooklyn Music Kitchen. We out there live. Make sure it's going to be a nice springy Thursday, a Thursday even, 7 p.m. Going to be very nice.
Hell yeah.
Calling out in the
Absolutely.
ear. 7 p.m., not 10 p.m., 7 p.m. You better be there.
There it is. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you so much to Boy Pierce, to C.E.L.L.Beatz for being on the podcast. We appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Awesome.
This has been a great time.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys heard, but there's a show April 11th. We can't wait. It's literally, it is a fantastic lineup. It is going to be a great time. We are so happy to be a part of it. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in to Music Maniacs with Side After Dark, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.